What up, guys? Welcome to the Agency Growth Bootcamp lesson number 2. Last time we talked about the foundations of what it takes to launch and scale your marketing agency, and today I want you to talk about one of the most important things, in my opinion, when it comes to launching and then successfully scaling your marketing agency, which is the offer creation. So we're going to be talking about what it takes to build a good offer, what actually good likes the good offer, what the bad offer looks like, and then we're going to talk about the common traps like the ads agency commodity, which is something you don't want to become, and how to scale beyond that point. First, we will talk about the commodity trap. So why Facebook ads agency or whatever advertising service you provide, say Google ads agency, Snapchat ads agency, TikTok ads agency, whatever you want to name yourself, is a losing position. Why just being a single channel agency or a single service provider agency is a losing position. As you know, guys, commodities compete on price. Solutions compete on value. And what happens is if you only run ads, if that's the only thing you're good at, you're at the mercy of the client's shitty creative production and shitty landing pages, which have not been developed and or designed by your team. And so when the results start dropping, you usually get fired first because you only own a tactic, not the entire outcome. So clients don't look at you as somebody who can generate them a lot of revenue, so they're not willing to pay you more. They only look at you as a tactic, a manager of a single channel who is not capable to think beyond just the ads management, who is not capable of thinking about the landing pages or about the ad creatives. And that's why being a Facebook ads only agency or the Google ads only agency is losing position, simply because the clients don't view you as a partner who is able to manage the whole ecosystem. They only look at you as one of the tactics or one of the channels. When we talk about the scalable offer, there's 3 pillars that make it up. The number 1 pillar is ad creative production. The number 2 pillar is ad management, successful ad management and the strategy behind it. And then number 3 is landing pages, design and development. Those 3 components make up the whole ecosystem, which is the complete system allowing you to own the outcome from the beginning to end for this particular ecosystem, which involves Facebook ads from the beginning to end, starting with the top of funnel things that people see, which is the ads and optimization of the algorithm with your advertising strategy, and the customer journey, which involves the landing pages, which would be developed and designed by your team. And the problem here is your agency most likely doesn't do that right now. Most agencies, including yours most unlikely if you're watching that video, own only one piece of this puzzle. They manage ads brilliantly, but they have zero control over the landing page. They create the amazing ad creatives, but they cannot guarantee traffic. Or maybe they develop the most amazing landing pages, but they don't own the media buying and they don't own the creative production. So when you own only one of those variables or components, you are not in control of the other 2. And this fragmentation is why clients usually blame you when the results drop, because they start blaming individual variables. And usually if you're the only person who's managing the ad spend, they don't look at anything else that is potentially causing the issues, because they're not being maybe charged on the recurring basis, or maybe they don't pay as much for those services, or maybe they are being told a different information by other providers who are providing them the ad creatives and the landing pages. Those 3 services need to be cohesive. They need to be included into one system or one offer that you are selling, so that this way you own the outcome of what your agency produces when it comes to the results that you have promised to the client and how much impact you can make over them. The more services or the more components or variables you control in this equation, the more impact and more control you have over the actual outcome that you have promised. Why this matters? You cannot guarantee an outcome if you do not control the variables. It is very important you get that. By packaging all of these 3 pillars together, ad creatives, ad management strategy, and paid ad management, media buying, whatever you want to call it, and landing pages design and development together into one offer, you're removing the client's ability to blame the algorithm or the website or God knows whatever else. You own the whole machine. You own that ecosystem. So you control the outcome from the beginning to end. And this is a shift that happens from being a vendor to being a partner for your client who owns the whole ecosystem, thereby removing the headache, removing even the need to think about it, and just letting clients buy back their time and focus on what they're actually good at. The founder of that brand or the team that maybe is more specialized in the organic content marketing and not paid advertising. So it is extremely important you understand the need of putting together different services into an offer, because that's how you will increase the perceived value of the offer that you're presenting to the prospects. You will be able to charge higher price, and they will view you as a partner who is deserving of that higher compensation when compared to a single channel or a single service vendor. Again, when you control creative plus ads plus landing pages, you can confidently say that we will deliver X revenue at Y ROAS, because you're the one controlling the whole ecosystem from the beginning to end. That confidence is what allows you to command premium pricing and long-term client retention. It is extremely important that you don't only acquire the new prospects with this type of promise, but you're able to actually fulfill on your promises and deliver the results you have promised to them during the sales speech at the top of the funnel during your sales process. And that's how you're able to retain those clients for a long term, and over time potentially even charge them more if you're able to include more services into your package that you're providing to that client. Moving on to the next slide. What you're trying to do in your ideal offer is not sell the plane ride, but sell the destination. In other words, I don't care how the sausage is made, I just care that it's tasty and it's served to me on a nice plate or in a nice form and it is pleasant to eat and it doesn't smell like shit. So most agencies, they describe their services in terms of activities, what they do. But clients, like I just said, they do not care about your process majority of the time. I know some clients do, but most of them don't. What they care about is that you're able to produce them results, whether it be drive more booked calls for their sales team, increase their revenue of the online store, or whatever service you're providing to them, whether it be e-commerce marketing on the advertising side or on the email side, or conversion rate optimization or lead generation, or whatever the offer that you're trying to build in your agency or whatever the niche is. The clients care about the transformation of their business and their own life by the change that happens in their business, because if you're able, like I said, to become a partner for the whole ecosystem that you're promising to the client, thereby removing the need for them to even think about it, you are allowing them to buy back their time, which already means that they're willing to pay you money for helping them buy back their time, in addition to promising and providing the results. The difference between these two approaches, between selling your process and selling the transformation, is the difference between a commodity pitch and a premium offer. If you just pitch the process, they will look at you as a commodity who can only charge maybe top $3,000 per month because like everybody can do this. You're telling me your process so I can just go and hire somebody on Fiverr and have them do this for me, or somebody on LinkedIn or Indeed and have them do that for me. But if you're able to sell the transformation, like there's no limit to how much you can charge. Starting at $10,000 all the way up to $20,000 to $30,000 per month per client, if it's a fixed retainer, or if it is a percent of attributed revenue or sales, it can go up into six figures and higher depending on how high you can scale your client. And that type of offer can only be done if you sell the transformation, not the process. Because again, the only way you get to those numbers, whether it be the retainer or the percent of attributed revenue, is by driving the results, which is usually the revenue for the client, and scaling them. So focusing on the transformation rather than on the process will allow you to stand out when it's gonna come to looking at you against your competition and deciding which offer is looking the most compelling for their particular business, for your prospect's business. Activity-based types of offers might include things like we manage your ad spend, we refresh your creatives weekly, we set up your tracking. All of those things are wrong. They all focus on the process. They don't mention the transformation that happens when this process is done. Outcome-based includes things like we build a predictable acquisition system for whatever the niche that you're in at. We scale your revenue while maintaining a 3.5x return on ad spend, which is profitable for your business. We remove you, the founder, from the sales bottleneck, therefore helping you buy back your time and focus on things that you're passionate about or things that you're the best at your agency or at your business. So that shift that you need to understand, guys, is the clients, they do not stay for the reports or for the processes. They stay for the revenue growth or for the growth or improvement in their business, or for the time that you're able to buy back for the founders and their business. So stop talking about your process and start talking about the transformation. This is a language that will allow you to justify your premium pricing for your new offer. When you say, hey, we remove you, the founder, from the sales, you're not just describing the tactic, you are describing the freedom for the founder of the company that you're pitching to. That is worth its weight in gold. That's how you have to think about it, which is how and why you're able to command the premium pricing for that type of offer. So activity-based language commoditizes you. Outcome-based language positions you as a strategic partner in their business who is able to fully replace the founder in that particular area of their business, helping them buy back their time, focus on other things that founder is good at that allows them in their business to make more money, and also just overall giving more freedom to the founder, which is something every founder and every business dreams about, including myself and including yourself once you start scaling and growing your agency too. Making the yes easy. So one of the ways, well, there's actually a few ways on how you can make your prospects say yes to your offer or to your pitch more easily. Most prospects, they say no, not because they don't want the results. They say no because they are afraid of the risk, they have been burned before, they don't know if you will deliver. So they don't know if the investment will pay off. And your job is to remove that fear. Your job is to try and leverage one of these three potential ways to help provide the risk reversal in their mind. And that's an instrument that you should be leveraging, especially when you're just starting out. At scale, it will somewhat progress and you will not need to necessarily leverage all of them. But when you're still small, say up to 50K a month, maybe even a little bit more, 50K is actually a good ground. You do want to try and use risk reversal as much as possible. And there's three mechanisms behind it. There's guarantees, there's the compliance angle, and there's hybrid pricing. Starting with guarantees. Guarantees can be either performance-based or time-based. A guarantee will say something like, we're so confident we will hit your targets that we will refund you 50% of your initial retainer if we don't achieve that result. A compliance angle allows it to make it safe for them to say yes to your offer. It basically reduces the perceived risk in their mind. A compliance angle says something like, we will start with a 30-day trial at a reduced rate so you can see the results before committing to our full monthly retainer that we would be charging you once we transition away from the 30-day trial. And last but not least is hybrid pricing. Hybrid pricing usually includes a lower base retainer compared to your full regular price retainer, but it is combined with a performance bonus, which is usually the percentage of the attributed revenue that is coming from your ads, which is how you're able to make up for the lower base retainer and also make much more at scale once you start driving meaningful returns for your client. And this would allow you to increase the budget that you spend on the ads. This way, you would be able to get paid much more in return because you are getting paid the percentage of attributed revenue as you spend more budget. So the hybrid pricing would say something like you pay $3,000 monthly base plus 10% of attributed revenue coming from our ads, about $50,000 a month in attributed revenue. And each of these mechanisms in risk reversal, guarantees, the compliance angle, and hybrid pricing, they allow you to remove a different level or different type of objection. Guarantees allow you to basically build trust. The compliance angle reduces the perceived risk, and then hybrid pricing protects your overhead and captures the upside for both the client and your own business. So the prospect goes from I'm scared to say yes to your offer because it's too expensive to hey, this is a no-brainer because as I grow, my partner is incentivized to grow as well, so I understand their upside and I also understand my upside in this partnership. Pricing for scale. So it is very important that you guys understand the need to stop charging hourly rates or using hourly math when it comes to you coming up with how much you should be charging for your monthly retainer at your agency, and you should look at start charging based on the capacity. Problem is, you cannot reach $50,000 per month in recurring revenue with $1,000 to $2,000 a month clients. You would need like 40 to 50 clients to get there, which requires a massive team and leads to chaos internally and also externally when it comes to client communication. So you don't need to necessarily do that. You can actually reach $50,000 a month in recurring revenue that you would be getting paid every single month from your clients with only 10 to 12 real high-value clients or high-value client accounts. And to do that, you would need to stop charging $1,000 to $2,000 retainers and shift your mind towards $3,000 to $5,000 a month retainer at the very least, if not higher. I've seen agencies charging, including my own, easily $8,000 to $10,000 a month retainer once we've cracked the ceiling of $20,000 or $30,000 a month in the recurring revenue, and we've got some case studies and we were able to start leveraging those case studies in sales, which also allowed us to justify higher pricing. We haven't talked about the testimonials here, but obviously when you're small, you might not have them. As you grow, you start producing results for your clients, the initial set of clients. You should be trying to get the testimonials from them and then leveraging them during the sales pitch. This would allow you to also reduce the risk, the perceived risk in the client's mind, show your expertise, and justify premium pricing more easily. But anyways, $3,000 to $5,000 a month recurring retainer is something that you should be considering at the very minimum if you are trying to scale your agency. Charging less than that is going to lead to fulfillment deaths and your own burnout. I promise you that. You need to understand it, that you cannot always be charging low prices because you're going to burn out. You're going to burn out. It's just inevitable. Try to increase the price to $3,000 to $5,000 retainer floor, and you will see the difference it makes in your own fulfillment, in how you feel about providing services to your clients, in the rates you're able to compensate back to your team. You will be able to pay more qualified employees on your team who are able to provide better results, able to communicate more easily and much more politely or clearly with your clients. And just overall, the agency would be set for a higher growth potential when you're able to charge higher prices, get paid more, hire actual A talent on your team. And finally, moving on to today's asset, the agency pricing and capacity calculator. I unfortunately don't have it fully finalized yet, which is why I cannot show it to you today yet, guys. But I am almost done with it. My developers are finalizing it. We have worked on this internally at our agency to have it ready for you. And I hope that by the time I publish this video, it's gonna be available, and I will link it in the description of this video so you could guys get it. The calculator will include 3 functions. It's going to show you, number 1, revenue targets and the required client count that is needed to get to the revenue target. It's going to show you the margin analysis, so your current contractor costs when compared to the retainer you're charging. And then what is that magic freedom number? When can you start hiring your first media buyers or account managers or whatever role that you are looking to hire first at your agency, as long as it's not sales and lead generation. We already have talked about it. You should only be hiring for those departments once you have replace yourself in the fulfillment and operations, and then you can start looking at replacing yourself in sales. But nobody's going to sell as good as founders, so you are not replacing yourself in sales until the very last moment, or until you're all done with the other departments. Going back to the calculator, you will have access to this calculator by the time I publish this video. I will link it in the description, and yeah, play around with it, see what you think, and let me know in the comments. I think we can wrap up this video here. I will be back with the 3rd lesson at some point in a few days from now probably, but I'm gonna try and record at least 1, ideally 2 videos per week for you guys, because there's a lot of material to cover and I do not want to fall behind on my promise of recording this free Agency Growth Bootcamp and having it available to you as a tool that will enable you to launch and scale and grow your own marketing agency without burning yourself out or going crazy. So anyways, let's wrap it up here. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next lesson.